First off, let me just say we should be really thanking Capital University Law School and Sean Beam for really helping put this all together, for allowing me to rent out the space and provide the value that I'm going to be giving to you today. So, quick little change of plans for the CLE. We're actually going to be really focusing on real property law, specifically in the investments of timeshares. Anyone been to Key West?
I just got that.
Nice. All right, that worked. Perfect. All right. No. We're not going to be talking about timeshares, but we are actually going to be talking about, how do we tackle this animal that has arisen in the last 10 years of digital marketing and digital advertising to ultimately generate leads, acquire new business, increase revenue, and hopefully automate this so that we can get back to just, the practice of law. So, here are the outlines of the topics ahead. We have online listings, that is making sure your business name, address, and phone number is synced up across all the online listing directories like the Yellow Pages, Yelp, etc. Reputation, what are people saying about you online? Content marketing, how are you marketing yourself? Are you providing value to your prospective clients? Ultimately, social media. You just have to do it. We all know it. It's not just for cats and dog pictures. It's actually something that can have real effects to your business on the top and bottom line. Website, ultimately, where are they going to find you? Oh, excuse me. Where are they going to find you online unless you have one? Digital ads, we got a bunch of stuff ahead. And of course, tips on strategically outsourcing all this stuff if you really don't want to do it yourself. So who am I? I'm Elliot Feldman. I'll give you the brief recap. Graduated here in 2015, practiced at a major law firm, realized very quickly that this whole concept of going to community events and networking events and trying to do this whole thing where we're not trying to sell ourselves, but we kind of are, but kind of aren't, really wasn't going to be working as far as picking up new business. Because when you're working 80 to 100 hours a week, and if you tack on a wife, kids, husband, family, and by the way, time for yourself, is there really any time to do business development? So what if you could automate it? What if you could create an online presence that would have people coming to you, calling you, emailing you, without you having to actually go out and do a lot of the work? And that's why I founded this agency, to do just that and help lawyers do it. All right, so let's start with the problems, and then we'll get on to the solutions. So the problem, this is one of the largest legal consultants firms based out of New York. Altman Weil, recent survey in 2017. So they gave a survey to 400 of the top managing partners and heads of chair for some of the top law firms, medium to large size, bare minimum 50 attorneys. They came up with some interesting stats. So right off the bat, their PR details a legal market characterized by endemic erosion of demand for legal services. So the demand for your services is going down. I know. Not new news. 88% were saying that they had chronically underperforming lawyers due to a lack of demand. It actually was funny. It was like 55% of these managing partners say, like, well, the equity partners don't have work, the non-equity partners don't have work. 25% said the associates, didn't have enough work, which I thought, all right, someone has a soul. Associates work their butt off. I know that for sure. 81% said overcapacity is diluting profits. So because we have all this free time on our hands, the money is going out to all the partners at the firm, not enough work is being made. It's cutting in the profits. 72% said the firm leaders said the pace of change will only continue to increase. Okay, so 72% of the partners at the major firms agree, okay, change will continue. Here's the thing though, 65% of the managing partners said their partners resist most efforts to change. All right, now, what I want you to take away from this, there are two stories here. There's one story that you could tell yourself, okay, well, it's never going to work out. The demand for legal services has been going down for the past 10 years. What am I going to do? If that's what you're going to focus on, then your first reaction is going to be to hold on to everything you have and not move out of fear. The second story you could tell yourself, which is what we're going to be talking about today, is you know what? When everyone's scared as hell and there's a lot of pessimism in the air, that this is the time to make a breakthrough because this is the time where I can move when everyone else is not moving. Key, very key. And that's what we're trying to talk about today. We're trying to tell you a different story and give you the right strategies to put you into an empowered state to make a breakthrough in your law firm. That's what we're really talking about here. All right, so now let's talk about the ethics. So why is this so hard to get business? All right, so the ABA does not want you to go out there, you know, JT Marlin, boiler room star, cold calling the neighborhood. Hey, I just heard you and your husband are having a difficult time. You know, we're just recently lowered our price from $9.97 an hour to $2.97 an hour for family law services. Would you like to perhaps get a divorce? They don't want that. So you cannot directly solicit business. We all know this. You can't cold call. You can't cold email. But isn't this interesting? Look at the comments. Look at the comments of what the ABA is telling you. A lawyer's communication typically does not constitute a solicitation if it is directed to the general public, such as through internet banner advertisement, website, or if it's automatically generated in response to internet searches. That means when you search for DUI attorney Columbus, Ohio, and you automatically get a couple websites, right? That's what they're talking about. So the ABA themselves are suggesting in the comments, go do internet marketing. Go do digital marketing. It works. Please do it. We don't want you to, you know, come at us with the pitchforks saying that, you know, you'll never let us make any money in this world. All right, so before we get into this, again, we have to realize that, you know, just like 72% of those law firms at the major firms were saying that this is a world of change. Let's talk about this kind of change. What's happened in the last 10 years? You all have it in your pockets right now. It's this. 2007, it's 2017. 2007, the first iPhone came out, and it changed the world. We have access to a computer in our pocket that's more powerful than the computer that put a man on the moon, and it is so easy to do research, and we do a lot of research, don't we, on anything. You want to buy a, you want to buy a hat, you want to buy whatever. DUI attorney. We're going online to do this stuff. And what has happened here? You got Netflix. Anyone have Netflix? No? I definitely do. Anyone remember Blockbuster? Oh, yeah. Indeed. All right, Blockbuster. Terrible customer experience. You have to go to the store, and then you get the DVD, and then you get home, and the DVD's scratched, even though it's the red one, so it's supposed to be new release. It's not. It's still scratched, doesn't work. I missed the deadline. I got late fees that cost more than the mortgage. What's going on? It's a terrible customer experience. And everyone said Netflix was going to be a fad. And so what Blockbuster did was they didn't change with the times. Netflix? All right, tell you what, people want to be able to get their video content, their movies, their TV shows, directly to their computer, directly to their phone, and sure enough, they made the change, and guess what? Netflix is still here, Blockbuster isn't. Principle, if you don't change with the times, you're out. You're absolutely out, okay? Uber, largest taxi company, doesn't even own a car. Airbnb, largest hotel chain, doesn't even own a hotel. We are in a constant world of change. But don't let the change scare you, because there is so much technology out there that you can be savvy enough to, again, make a breakthrough and really be able to thrive while everyone else is struggling. So ultimately, marketing has changed. This is kind of what I was getting at. This is a picture of the Vatican, I believe when Pope Benedict was elected. Notice something. 2005. Look at this guy. Flip phone. Now, I remember when I had the dumb Nokia phone. If you had the flip phone, you were like, super cool. Now look, same spot. Need I say anything more? The world changed, right? It really has had an impact on our lives, hasn't it? So ultimately, you know, let's focus on this real quick. Who here saw a TV ad for this seminar? Anyone? Anyone see me on radio? No? How about the Columbus Dispatch? Quarter page ad? Right there on the top of the fold. How about Facebook? Anyone? So we got a couple. How about email? Precisely. How about another show of hands? How many people actually saw that email on their desktop or saw it in their phone? Desktop, raise your hand. Okay, how about phone? Interesting. So what I'm really trying to get at is that ultimately we need a new marketing stack. Because even though I reached 3,000 people on Facebook with my ads, and I know a couple people in this room kept telling me, I can't open up Facebook without seeing your face. You know, I didn't have to run TV, I didn't have to go to radio, I didn't have to waste tens of thousands of dollars to where no one is actually watching. I was able to use, sophisticated strategies to target the exact person with the right message at the right time to generate a response. And even with the email, if you can directly get to someone's phone, if you can directly get there, you have their attention. Right message, right time, you got the attention, boom. Right product, right service. That's when the sale is made. That's when the inquiry is made. So we need a new marketing stack. Paid advertising. Ultimately, we recommend digital, definitely to start. Really what this comes down to is, have you grab their attention? Do they know you? Then ultimately we get to listings. Can they find you? If I Google XYZ law firm, because I'm trying to actually go there in my, Siri, can you direct me to Caravona and Berger? Siri, can you wherever? And if it takes me to the wrong location when I'm trying to just find my prospective attorney, how do you think that's going to look upon you for a first impression? Do you think they're going to continue to try to find you, or do you think they might go to a competitor? Quite frankly, I know that there's a couple firms around town, and definitely in Cleveland, they actually have the old partner's name when you look them up online, and so it's still A and B, not A and C. Very bad. Reviews, do they trust you? Right? What have other people said about your legal services? Now, I know we all say, well, you do good work, then they're naturally going to tell their friends. Well, what if they could tell the entire world if they said it online? Social, do they like you? Are you engaging with them? Are you providing content that's relevant, that they can use to make a good decision of whether to acquire your representation? Website, does it convert? Will the website actually get them to call or email you? Is the website working for you, or is it just doing nothing? So what this comes down to is the statistics show the buying decisions are made online. You got 85% of the American consumer, depending on which survey you look at, they're going to 15 different places online. They're trying to go for reviews. They're trying to look up the products and services, doing some research before they actually make a purchase. No one likes to shop anymore. That's why Amazon is killing the retail market. Because you could do your research from your phone. You could sit on your desktop, your phone, wherever. You don't have to go to Macy's and, let's see what I want to get and waste time. Because we all know time is something we barely have any of and something you can't get back, so it's extremely precious. Researching online before you buy a product or service makes the whole buying process more efficient for the consumer, and that's why we need to be here, right? Kind of makes sense. So Google actually made this. They talked about this. It's called the zero moment of truth, or the ZMOT, right? So they will go and they will figure out who you are due to the stimulus of advertising, whether through Google AdWords, TV, radio. I don't care what kind of advertising you're doing, but that generally is to drive the interest ultimately to your firm. But then they're going to go into the zero moment of truth. This is the zero moment of truth for most businesses. I don't care if it's law. I don't care if it's even a carpenter, a plumber. They're going to do research. All right, what have other people said? Because my money is very precious to me. What has other people said about this business? If they don't even see reviews, it's like, is this person even in business, right? Ultimately, they'll make the purchase if they find good reviews and research on you, and then they're going to leave a review, positive or negative, and you got to be ready for that, even if it's negative and if it's positive. All right, so what does this mean? What does this mean to you? Every law practice, like every business, has a buyer's funnel. Now, I also graduated from the business school, my MBA here at Capital, and they did not teach this in law school, unfortunately, to us. Not at all. But every business, including a law firm, has a buyer's funnel. Starts here at the top. How many people have heard of this? Buyer's funnel? Have you ever heard of this sales funnel stuff, right? Yeah. So this is what they're talking about. So you got advertising. Who are you? Generate the interest. Generate the stimulus, Google AdWords, TV, radio. Who are you? Here's my brand. This is what I do. So, all right. So now I'm going to associate, End the Madness Now. Mark Herter. Heard that on the radio. End the madness. Love it. So associates, right? A little bit of advertising. Now, listings. Can I even find you? Are you found? Tell you what, how many people, show of hands, how many people have business cards? Gotcha. How many people have the wrong business name or address or phone number on their business card? No one. Good, and you shouldn't. So why would you want the incorrect business name, address, or phone number of your business online when people are searching for you? You see? Especially like the phone number. Good Lord. I'm trying to get Mark Herter, End the Madness Now, and hypothetically, it's not, but hypothetically, if you couldn't, get in contact with him, if it's the wrong phone number, and I'm on Google My Business, I'm on Facebook, and I see this phone number, it's the wrong one, where am I going to go? Just for the record, Mark Herter has the right number. I'm just saying, it's an example. Don't sue me. Reputation, are you trusted? Really, like I was saying, this really comes down to, okay, I'm not going to name names, but I have seen some crazy reviews, including crook, they cheated me, I could have gotten more money if I went through my insurance company. 1-star reviews on a lot of firms around town. It's not good, right? Because as soon as they see that, what really differentiates you online? How are you going to build trust with someone? They don't know you. They don't know the firm. But the studies show 80+% of people will treat an online review exactly as they would treat a personal recommendation. That's what I'm talking about. So we're trying to build trust. Social, are you liked? Are we are we killing ourselves with political posts on our business page? We shouldn't, because that's literally, why don't you just knock out 50% of your customer pool? Things like that. Are we providing relevant information? 10 best ways to get out of a DUI, here. Stuff that's useful. 10 best ways to vet a divorce attorney before you decide, or 10 things to consider before you get a divorce, and blah, blah. Are we spreading this information through our social media channels? Ultimately, website, does it convert? Is it fast? Is it friendly? Does it load? Because if it's, Google's own studies show that if your website's not loading within 3 seconds, more than half of the visitors will bounce. And where are they going to go? Obviously, the competitor. So what happens if we don't do this? Because ultimately, if we have holes in this funnel, these prospects of ours, they're not just falling out, they're running out. And where are they going? They're bouncing. Because you've already intrigued them. They've already gone through this research process. So now they're going to start bouncing into another competitor's funnel and ultimately give them the sale and not you. Or make the inquiry and not you. And that's why we say the fastest way to increase your budget is to use someone else's. If someone is using a lot of advertising dollars, but they got 1-star reviews, and then these people are already going for a specific legal service, and they find you with 5 stars and 100 reviews, they're probably going to call. So that is the 5 pillars of the funnel: advertising, listings, reputation, social, website. And this is what we call the pillars of your virtual doorway. Right? So you have a physical doorway that I'm sure you take care of. You have to walk through it every day. And of course, you want to make sure your physical doorway is nice and clean for any prospective clients that you bring in for a consultation. But you also need to think about your virtual doorway just the same. And you want to make sure it's pristine and that it's actually working for you, to make sure that you're portrayed in the best light online, to make sure that prospective clients know who you are, what you can service, and that you're the best, right? All right, so how to build a strong virtual doorway. You got me. You got me, Elliot. What do I do? Give me the strategies. So let's start with local SEO. Now, before we get into the technicals here, let's think of this like CRAC. Everyone remember CRAC from law school? Conclusion, rule, analysis, conclusion, the CRAC or IRAC. And how professors are like, stop it, start with the CRAC. I want to know where you're going before I go through this whole like shindig of reading your stuff. So we're going to start with the conclusion in mind. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get on the first page of Google because it is the prime advertising real estate for people that are already searching for the exact service you provide. Simple. So, what are the pieces of the real estate in this? Now, this is what we call a search engine results page, or SERP for short, S-E-R-P, search engine results page. So if you click in DUI attorney, Columbus, Ohio, you click in divorce attorney, Columbus, Ohio, you click in bankruptcy attorney, Columbus, Ohio, or any of the variations, click in anything, you know, best bars in Columbus, click in anything. You're going to get a search engine results page. The top 4 are the paid ads. You have to purchase Google AdWords, and you have to go through an AdWords paid advertising campaign. This is digital advertising territory. You have the maps, the Google Maps, or what's called the local snack pack, or local 3-pack. You have to have a Google My Business account to do this, and you have to ultimately, as we'll see, have reviews and have citations and listings correct. And then you'll appear in the organic results right here for the traditional SEO, right there in the purple. And then, of course, you have bottom page ads as well. And what we're about to be talking about is getting in here in the Google My Business, in the 3-pack. That's what we're talking about right now, okay? So, how do we get into the 3-pack? So, when you perform a search, you see, and this stuff changes all the time, all right? This used to be like 7, but now Google changed it to 3. It used to be the 7-pack, now it's a 3-pack, right? So what happens is, when you do a local search, you know, you're going to find those ads, like I said, and then it's going to come down to these 3 choices. It's going to have pictures, it's going to have what are your reviews like, 3.9, all the 5 stars, right? The top 3 listings.
When you say local search, what does that mean?
Local search meaning if you're not searching just for like best testosterone supplement, you don't care exactly where it is, you just want it. But if you're looking for a DUI attorney in Columbus, Ohio,
You have to say Columbus.
yeah, so it's like niche and city specific. That's what I'm getting at. And then, so ultimately, how do we get there? Listings. Because think about it. Because you're actually ranking in Google Maps, you see? So if you think about this conceptually, like how do you get there? Well, how is Google going to know you're a real brick and mortar business unless the algorithm can actually see that you have the correct business name, address, and phone number across all the hundreds of online directories and listings? How would it know? It's a machine. It has to have data. It has to have the correct data. Because if Google starts allowing anyone to just rank in those maps and they're not there, people are not going to use Google as much. People are going to get upset with the forum of Google, right? And Google can't have that. So ultimately, that's why your business listing, the business name, the business address, and phone number are crucial to your success. Now, these could be on Yelp. These can be on Yellow Pages. This is actually on your Google My Business, has a listing of your business address and phone number. Facebook, Twitter, they're all over the place. Then there's hundreds of these little ones that, you know, you've never heard of, but Google is aware of, and you must make sure that you're synced up on those as well. And of course, for digital trends, you know, again, because now people are starting to get more and more used to asking for things like from Siri or Google and the voice, right? You know, Siri, drive me to the nearest wherever. That listing data is becoming more and more crucial, and the search results that come from the voice data are highly, highly impacted by the correct business name, address, and phone number that you have. So this is all about being found. That's what we're trying to do here. You know, these are a couple other things your listing should have. Some of these listing sites can offer you a platform to have a little bit more of a robust listing. So zip code, state, you know, phone number, the website, business category, hours of operation. Like Google My Business will allow you to showcase this along with photos. So you want to do this stuff. Because ultimately, we're thinking about two things here. When we're doing this whole digital marketing thing, it's, okay, how do I make the human user that might actually look me up online happy and have the best user-friendly experience? But we're also trying to make Google happy, because Google ultimately assumes if you're making it happy, you're making human users happy, right? So, local 3-pack. Ultimately, if you clicked on the local 3-pack, you'll have a list of other listings right here. These are other competitors, ultimately, that would go up into the local search. And ultimately, see, and again, notice, think of this, and again, when we're going through this whole presentation, I want you to think of this like a law school class, or really a semester, where you learned one rule 1 week, another rule week 2, week 3, and then as you got to the end of the semester, all these rules kind of came together as one and made sense in the big picture. You guys remember that? You know, maybe. No, it's like I don't even want to remember law school, Elliot. Move on. These will be your exercises, and we will provide you handouts via PDF and an email afterwards. But these will be the exercises that, and in these handouts, we'll have instructions for you to complete these exercises. But ultimately, for the listings, you definitely want a Google My Business account. Otherwise, you won't rank in those maps. Everything that we've been talking about, the 3-pack, that's out. So you need a Google My Business. You need to get some reviews, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. You need to have consistent listings. We'll get there. You know, search for yourself and see if your listings are consistent. Ultimately, build new listings, add some content to your listings page. Now let's move on to reputation. Remember, this is, do they trust you, right? Reputation. So you got 90% of consumers that are making decisions based on what other people are saying about you online. And I think that kind of makes sense. Has anyone bought something off of Amazon? Right. Now, how many of you, be honest, how many of you have looked at the reviews? Now, how many of you, as I do, because I'm paranoid about, you know, the seller all of a sudden like calling out their friends, hey, 5-star, bro. How many of you look at the 4 and 3 stars just to see like what's like the nitty gritty? You know, what's the bad stuff? How many people have done that? Like, all right, what's going on? Right, we're creeping. We're creeping on people's reps online. We want to see the grit and the dirt. We're looking for every reason not to buy. Let me repeat that, because that is so key. When we go and do our online research, we are looking for every reason not to give the vendor money, to not give the law firm money, right? We're not going online to check out like what a stellar reputation this guy must have. We're trying to find the dirt. And that's why we need to make sure we have the most pristine reputation online. And it's not, you know, an option, it's an absolute necessity. So ultimately, when you garner these reviews, presuming you've done your listings correctly, Google will start ranking you up in the search engine result pages. Because ultimately, we all know the best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of Google, because no one goes there. Does anyone even go to the second page of Google, honestly, for any search? Okay, we have a couple. I applaud you. I applaud that. But unfortunately, the average consumer, the average person, won't. And the studies have shown that. So ultimately, what am I really getting at? So if you have a lot of positive reviews, this is ultimately going to generate revenue. And there are surveys after surveys that show this, because you're garnering more trust as compared to your competitors, and ultimately they're going to call and make an inquiry. The same thing that works with Amazon will work for you. For an Amazon vendor that has a bunch of good reviews, hey, you know, buy this product, the same thing works in law. Because we have very little time on our hands. We have our money is precious to us. We're trying to get the best value for our buck, right? And like I said, depending on the surveys you look at, it's anywhere from 70 to 80+% of consumers are trusting online reviews just as much as a personal recommendation. So what was the goal always? To do good work for a larger number of people as a lawyer, because ultimately you're going to build that, quote, referral bank that we've heard about, right? We're going to build a referral bank. We're going to have helped so many people that they're naturally going to tell their friends in case they might have like a friend that had the similar legal issue that needed our counsel, and then they're going to have that person somehow call us via the suggestion. Right, so instead of like having that be a kind of like an illusory, mythological thing that may or may not happen, why don't we, when the clients are happy, ask them to leave a review, right? So you got 3 types of reviews. We got negative reviews, no reviews or no recent reviews, and a healthy but unmanaged review pipeline. So for the negative reviews, you got to deal with it. And you have to always respond to negative reviews. You have to deal with it properly. You got to get that off, because that will kill you in the research process. Yes?
What if you're trolled by someone who didn't even
Yeah.
recommend you, but they just want to see the world burn?
We're gonna-
How do you have those DM'd out?
And we're gonna get to the trolls. We're definitely gonna get to the trolls. That's a great question. So no reviews or no recent reviews. So like you can't just maybe call up a bunch of your friends like, hey, you mind just leave me a couple 5 stars, just so I have some reviews, and leave it at that. You don't want that. You want consistent reviews, because a person that's researching is naturally going to want to know that you're not just helping clients out 2 years ago with 5 stars. They want to see, oh, they've been recently, so they're still doing good work to this day. Oh, so they must be doing good work for me if I come in, because they're currently doing good. Look at all these other people that said they're doing good, right? Healthy but unmanaged review pipeline. So let's just say you're doing so stellar that without even asking, a lot of people are giving you the 4s and 5 stars. Well, what are you doing with it? Don't just let it sit. Are you putting it on all your socials? Are you promoting the fact that, not just putting it on your website, but actually boosting a post on Facebook saying, hey, look at what a recent client said about us online, 5 stars, and showcase it to the whole world. And then all of a sudden, you're mixing advertising with reputation. Now you're building interest and trust. So how do I respond to negative reviews? 3-step system. Say you're sorry, even if you don't mean it. Say you're sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Here's a little something you could take from. I'm terribly sorry you had a negative experience at our firm. We really pride ourselves in providing an exceptional client experience. This must be an isolated incident, as normally clients rave about their experience. In fact, we recently won a Consumer Choice Award or an AVO award or whatever. Add some like marketing, social proof credentials, right? If you have that, don't lie. But I'd love for you to call me so we can get to the bottom of this. My name is Amy, and I'm the office manager. Here's my personal cell. Please call me. Or if you're a solo, give your own cell phone. And I know some of you is like, I don't want my cell phone on. Like, well, why not? Why would you not want to get into contact with the person that's saying you're doing so bad for them? Why wouldn't you want them to easily get in contact with you so you can have a conversation offline and just take care of it? Because trust me, you do not want to get into an argument with a person online, because it's like fighting with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. All right? You don't want to argue online. So ultimately what you can do really when you talk to them, work it out. And if you work it out, you actually might be able to do a couple things. You might be able to learn something that was bad about the process, that was legitimately bad about how you carry your practice and the project management of it, or the customer relations management of it, or how a staff member perhaps didn't keep up to snuff. But you'll also be able to do something really cool if you do this right and you really work it out. All of a sudden, that 1-star becomes 5-star, and they explain the story on your Google My Business. I originally left a 1-star, but they actually called me and blah, blah, blah. Now, how cool is that? How much trust now are you garnering? What could have been catastrophe just turned into a unicorn for you. So there's just a little blurb that you can check out later in the slides about how a person, this is actually in a restaurant, how they respond to a negative review. But look at this. I mean, ultimately, this was said on July 21st. There's another commenter, July 22nd. Well, better late than never, I suppose. So even if you, even if you respond like within 24 hours, that's not even enough. You really want to make sure that you have some kind of software to know exactly what people are saying about you online in real time. You don't want to let it sit. And you have to have a process in place to be able to take care of that. Positive reviews, ultimately you want to be able to generate these. So how do we get positive reviews? How does this happen? Well, you have to ask. You have to be willing to ask. Ask and you shall receive. Exactly. And if you never ask, you'll never know. My mother taught me that. If you never ask, you'll never know. So ultimately, your first example is going to be me emailing you with this PowerPoint slide, the handouts, and a link to our Facebook page where you could leave a review. If you enjoyed this seminar, I would I would love you if you would leave one, right? So there's an example. And also my lovely assistant page in the back right there will be willing to take video testimonials. For anyone who would like to leave a video testimonial of their experience here at the seminar, just outside there, quick 30 seconds, very easy. She's very nice, I promise. But you need to start asking, and you need to start asking in person. Best time to ask when they're happy. You just like did the slam dunk on that case, not guilty, or you got the settlement or whatever. When they say, thank you so much, that's the height of their love for you. So what you want to do in that time is like, hey, you know what? I really, you have no idea, how special it is to see, a client's face when I get them an amazing result. And quite frankly, it would really, really mean something to me if you would, can I send you an email with a link to my Google My Business account so you could leave a review and say everything you just said to the world so that I might be able to, so that the world will be able to know how much I like to take care of my clients. Oh, done. Are they going to say no? No. They're going to say yes, as they should. And you get the positive review, and the world gets to see it. No more is this, oh, I've heard of Jim. He's a good guy. It's like, no. Let the world know. Oh, this firm has to be good. Look at all the reviews. That's what we're talking about. So you want to lead with some review solicitation. Now you can, for prior clients, you already have their email list. I'm going to send you a format of an email that you can reach back and open up that conversation. Because I'm sure you guys have plenty of clients that you've done really good work for in the past who would be willing to leave a review. But I'll show you a templated email sequence strategy that you can open up that conversation in a way that is not rude or coming across cheesy, but in a professional and personal manner. So that'll be all in the handouts. And of course, you want to push your positive reviews. You want to push them throughout all your socials. Boost them on Facebook and advertise them for the world to see. Put them up on LinkedIn with a little link. Hey, look, take a screenshot of it on your phone. Hey, check it out. Post, tweet, shoot it all over the world, because then ultimately that's going to, your professional network of colleagues are going to see that. Other people will see, and that helps the referral bank grow. You see, puts you in a positive light quicker. You're leveraging the power of the internet to get your positive word out there. And of course, reviews as a management tool. So for any of you that are, have staff, right? They're talking about your staff too. I know there's one firm, there is a firm that everyone knows, all right? I'll just leave it at that. And there's a terrible review talking about how the staff didn't do the right thing, right? And because they're large, they obviously have a staff. And so as the office manager, wouldn't the office manager like to know if the staff isn't doing well and be able to have a system in place to be, hey, please call me, and then talk to them. Which staff member did you talk to? So then you can actually, train the staff to do better, to make sure that you don't repeat the same mistake that might cost you business in the future, or might break or burn a relationship, right? And also, you know, it's good to know what you're doing bad so that you can just change it in general. Like if you're, like I said, project management, customer relations management, you know, the client said, oh, I didn't feel he talked to me enough. You know, I'm pretty sure everyone's heard that. You know, you want to know that stuff. And of course, you know, you want to give accolades. If someone was mentioned in the firm, oh, Jim took care of me so well, and Jim's a partner, or Jim's a staff member, you know, shoot out a little email internally through the office. Hey, look at what Jim got us, a 5-star review. You know, promote good behavior, promote good reviews, good actions, right? Internally, build morale if you have a decent-sized firm. Now, all of a sudden, the people below think, oh, wow, they actually do care. That's cool. Here are the exercises for reputation. So you want to know what's being said about you. I'll have a couple online review sites that you can check out. You want to respond to every review, every single one, even positive. Hey, they did this or that for me. It's like, hey, you know, I really appreciate it. We love taking care of our clients. You were a great client to have, you know. Please spread, you know, if you ever need any more help or a friend needs help, feel free, you know, to have them give us a call, all that stuff. Everyone needs to be responded to because it makes it out to be like your firm is actually personally in touch with them. When you have a personal connection, they feel that they're loved. When they feel that they're loved and liked, then they will reciprocate that emotion to you and associate that with your firm, builds that thing called goodwill, and then ultimately leads into an increase of a referral bank. So, content marketing, providing useful, relevant content to people, you know, looking for the service you provide. So, what does this mean? I got into this earlier in the lecture. So, ultimately, why do you think I'm asking for video testimonials, by the way? Who reads? I know we all do because we're attorneys. But come on, in general, the American populace has not been reading for a very long time. I think, you know, just pick the surveys. I mean, I don't think even like half of the populace reads one book a year, you know? So but they love video. Oh, we love to watch. We're a spectating society, don't we? That's why Netflix is killing it. That's why YouTube's killing it. They love to watch. So if you can give them content in a medium that they would prefer, why aren't you doing it? That's why content is king and video is the king of content, right? It's not just me saying it. Cisco, Fortune 500 or 100, I think, at this point. We're saying video will account for 80% of all internet traffic by 2019. That's how important video is, and that's how much the consumer online wants it. So you have to figure out a way to provide it. Zuckerberg says 90% of Facebook's content will be video by 2018. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I scroll through Facebook, all I see is video. All I see is video or sharing a video or some crazy, you know, cat video. But still, it's video. Like, rarely do I see people actually like saying something with original thought. Ericsson's a large network company in the UK, saying mobile video traffic will increase 55% each year from now until 2020. So it's not just me. So ultimately, let's talk about written content, because now I want us to focus on not only getting ranked in the 3-pack, we all remember from earlier, in the local snack pack, but now we're talking about also ranking in the organic section of the search engine results page. Every search engine results page has 10 results in the organic section that appear for each of the pages. Now, Google, one of the biggest factors and criteria for Google to rank your website for that keyword in one of the organic result positions, right, is if you have high quality content that's relevant to the keyword based on the context of the content, and you have a backlink from an authority site. Now, I know this is technical. I won't get too much in the weeds with you, but I want you just to see it. Because this is when, like, you know, I'm sure you've been cold called for SEO before, so let's just talk about what it is, right? So there's on-page SEO, where we're talking about creating content. We put it on the blog page of your website, right? And when I talk about content, I'm talking about a written article, just a written article, right? Off-page SEO, we're creating quality content off the website, so on a blog somewhere that a lot of people watch, right? And that blog is going to backlink to your website, right? That's what we're talking about. So there's on-page, what you blog about on your website, and what you can get other bloggers, right, off the website to link back to you. So here's a traditional piece of legal content writing. Now, I know this is really, really 101, and I know it's not this bland, but this is traditionally what law firms have tried to do, and they send out an email blast to their current list of clientele or past clientele. So a recent law is passed. This means this. Call us, you know, if you're in trouble. A recent law was passed, ORC 4511.19. States that no person shall drive under the influence of alcohol with a concentration of .08, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll be guilty of OVI. If you or a loved one have been charged with OVI, please call us. How many people have seen something like this, right? You know, a legal article that's kind of like bland-ish. What about something like this? If I could show you how you or a loved one could beat a DUI charge, even if you blew over the limit, would you be interested? Of course. They're going to read the next sentence. After practicing for decades, I've seen over X number of clients charged with DUI, and trust me, there are ways to beat the conviction. One strategy that a good backlink DUI attorney in Columbus, Ohio would recommend is to enter a plea bargain to the prosecutor, where you enter a diversion program, where you will take a number of classes to educate you on how not to drive drunk, and presuming you don't reoffend within a certain time frame, they'll drop the DUI charge. For more information, call us at. Now, what is that? That's actually valuable. You know, you got a kid at 23 years old, he just graduated college, you know, he sees this. He doesn't know what that means. Of course, he knows that. That's why he got charged. You say this? Oh, wait a minute. That's valuable. That's actually something I didn't know. I didn't see that in a commercial. No one taught me that at OSU, you know. You're actually providing value. You're building interest and intrigue. And ultimately, they're going to call if you're providing that valuable content, right? They want to know more. I would want to know more. It's not a lie. That's true. It's your first time. Most of the time, they will let you enter a diversion program. And ultimately, you would want, if you're going to post this on a blog, you would want to rank for this keyword, wouldn't you? DUI attorney, Columbus, Ohio. Now, I know I'm doing like criminal law, but this works for all areas. I'm just doing this as an example that we all can consume and understand, okay? But make no mistake, anyone could do this. Bankruptcy, personal injury, it's been done before. But that's what this whole thing, how many people have heard of this thing called SEO? Exactly. How many people have actually understood really what it is? Right, exactly. So now, there you go. All right, so a couple of you, for sure. But most haven't, because I know it can get confusing, and trust me, it changes a lot. But this is one of the key tenets. Getting a high-quality backlink, and we're going to talk about that right now, actually. We're going to talk about getting a high-quality backlink. So you wrote that valuable piece of content that's actually going to do well for your target audience. They're actually going to learn something. Now you've generated interest. So that's for the human user. That's key. That is for the human user. The human that's actually reading that would be a person that would ultimately, you know, be interested in your service because they value that content. A person that got a DUI, oh, I can get out? Yeah, I should definitely call them. But what about making Google happy? Because remember, what did I say? It's about making human users happy and Google happy. This is how you make Google happy. So you want to go out with that beautiful piece of content, and you want to go and research a off-site website, a blog, that is relevant. So I looked up Ohio Associated Criminal Defense Lawyers, right? That's relevant to DUI content, right? So if you got something posted on this, You know, the content is relevant to DUI. DUI is relevant to criminal law. If this is the Criminal Lawyers Defense Lawyers Association, obviously this all makes sense. Google wants you to post content on a relevant blog or digital property, right? Because that's where because Google's presuming that people would go to a place like this if they really needed that service. So how do we know it's high quality? We're going to go to moz.com. We're going to go to moz.com. Moz.com is one of the largest software providers for SEOs and agencies. They offer a bunch of tools. One of them is called Open Site Explorer. Now, what Open Site Explorer will do is show you what Google sees with respect to a website. So, if you put in the URL of the association's website into Moz's Open Site Explorer, then it's going to come out with a domain authority of 32, page authority of 40. Pretty much what this says is Google really likes this page. Most of your websites, I almost can guarantee you, don't even have a 10 for domain authority, and very likely are under 20. So if you get a backlink from a website that Google sees, oh wow, 32 DA, 40 PA, then that signals, oh, well, a very important website that's very, very credible, that's been around for a while, that already has backlinks to it, is now linking to your law firm for that keyword. Oh, well, then that means you're relevant. That means I should push you up in the search results because you must know what you're doing. You must be providing quality content. Because why would a rock star like this backlink to you unless you were relevant and unless you were providing good content for that keyword? So without getting too much in the weeds, that's pretty much the basic 101 on SEO. Now, of course, I'll be providing strategies for you to go out there, research the blogs, outreach to the webmasters. That means the people that own the blog, own the site, you know, the people that have the authority to post on your behalf, right? I'll provide you strategies in the handout how you can do that. I don't want to get too much in the weeds on that. But ultimately, you'll research keywords. I'll teach you out all this stuff in the handout. You'll research relevant digital properties you want to get a backlink from, create some SEO content, reach out, get posted. All right, social media. Ultimately, leveraging the power of social media is very, very key. For those of you that saw the Facebook account, how many people actually saw the Facebook account again? All right. How many dollars do you think I spent? Because you saw it a lot. Didn't you not, Dan? You told me you saw it a lot? Right? Like every time you opened up that sucker. Dude, I spent $25 a day for like 7 days. $25 reached 3,000 people. $25 a day. That's like what? $150? $150, you reach 3,000 people. Think about it for just 1 second. How much did the radio pitched, you guys? How much did, all these other guys that are like, the Columbus Dispatch, all the, that have no audience anymore, or at least an audience that's in decline? They're pitching you a ridiculous amount of money. They barely have an audience. The attention's not there. I can go to Facebook, run a campaign ad for 2 weeks, for $300 total, and I pack out a seminar. It's not bad. It's actually a pretty good. My click-through rate, you want to get technical, I paid $2.18 for every person that clicked and actually was signing up. It's not bad. How many of you host seminars yourselves as attorneys trying to spread your word? Has anyone hosted a seminar to spread the word, spread the message? Yeah, see, you know what I'm saying? You can really leverage the power of social media to drive your reviews, your brand, promote a seminar, a lot of things. And ultimately, promote content like this. I already know that there is a blog post that you can run if you're a family lawyer and you're looking for divorce leads. There is a blog post that you could run Facebook ads on. You will generate leads. Easy. I already know it. because it's been done. So, those are your exercises for social media. Want to make sure that we're getting through all this stuff. So website's key, because ultimately at the end of the day, this is truly the foundation of who you are online. This is the door of the virtual doorway. You know, this is everything. Some of you, I know there are certain attorneys that don't have one. You really need one. If you want to be in the game, you got to have one. And it has to be mobile friendly. It has to be fast. Let's talk about this. Really what we're talking about when it comes to the website is, does it convert? Now I want to use Roto Law as an example. This guy is killing it, man. This guy is killing it. He is, how many of you people actually were able to see the video I gave about how to get 10 new clients? Yeah. This guy is ranking for the top 10 DUI-related keywords that get the most traffic. The most, when I say most traffic, the most people that type in DUI attorney Columbus, Ohio, DUI lawyer Columbus, DUI lawyer Columbus, Ohio, DUI lawyer Columbus, OH, into Google. For all the top ones, he's getting like 720, he's exposed to 720 people that are searching that. If you add up the top 10, there's 720 people searching for that on average each month in the city, right? And he's getting exposed to all that because he's ranking in the first position on the first page. Organically, right, for all of that. And then, look at his website, right off the bat. Can you easily email or call him? Yes, it is in the top right-hand corner. All of your phones should be in the top right-hand corner. Your phone number, bam, has to be right there. It's been proven to work for conversions. You could even have your email up there, but phone is fine. Then you want, look at this, boom, what do you see? Social proof. No one wants to see your firm's office. They want to see what you can do for them. Can I trust you? Rated by super lawyers, accredited business, AV preeminence 10.0, top lawyers, OA, CDL. Was the person in a state of fear that just got a DUI that could perhaps lose his job or job prospects? What is he doing? Now all of a sudden he's comfortable because you're the authority, right? That's what we're talking about here. You are the authority. They don't care about your office space. They don't care about the fountain that you may or may not have in the front lobby. What they care about is, can they trust you? Can you get me results? Will I be safe? Will my life be better? Because at this point, I'm in a state of pain and agony, and I'm looking for certainty and the pleasure of comfort. Will you be there for me? Will you save me? Authority is the best way to get there. Now, ultimately, let's get back to, can they easily call or email you? Because I don't know if anyone knows this, but it was just last year, or in fact, perhaps, yeah, it was just last year, I believe, it was 2015 or 16, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there were more, Google said there were more people searching the internet on their phones than on their desktop. More people were searching with their phones right there than actually on desktop. And I think that would make sense, right? Because more and more people are getting these suckers, and it's just so easy to, like, even though I have Netflix, and I'm at home, I don't want to watch it on my desktop. I'd rather just lay in bed and, watch it, on my phone. It's just easily right there, right? It's just so easy. People love this thing, and they're searching the internet more on it. So you want to be mobile friendly, and you want to make sure that when people search for you online on their phone, boom, look at this. I'm going to say to panic, oh God, I don't know what this stuff is, but oh, there's a number. When people click on that on their phone, you want to make sure that it will be clicked to call. How many people know what I'm talking about? You click on the phone, right, on the number, and all of a sudden it pops up, oh, call or cancel. Yeah, you want to make sure that that is in place, right? Because no one is going to do the copy and paste. And I know this sounds trivial, but we live in an age where everyone wants comfort and convenience. No one is going to do the whole rigmarole of copy and then paste and do that. They're just not. No, they're just not, right? So we want to make sure that they can easily call you right off the bat. Click to call. You also want click to email. I know this is small, but on the bottom, if you scroll to the bottom on your phone, you will see that his email, it's click to email as well. You can click, it will go right into your mail app. and then you can email Mr. Riddle for service. This guy's killing it. He really is doing all the right things. It's just a great case study. And of course, you want the website to be responsive. How many people have heard of this? Responsive website, maybe? Right. So what responsive website, like pretty much getting out of the technical stuff, what it means is it has to look the same on a desktop, just as it looks the same on your tablet over there, just as it would look the same on your mobile phone, right? Because think about it, you don't want to create brand confusion. Like if your website doesn't actually look the same on your mobile phone when someone searches you on the phone and then they look at you at the desktop, because people will like research you on multiple platforms. If it doesn't look the same, then it might be the wrong firm. Maybe I should go somewhere else. Right? So is your website fast? Well, here's something you can do. You can run it through Google's test. You can put your URL here at testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. You're going to get all these slides, and I'm going to give you all this stuff in the handout. But you can go here and see what Google thinks about your website. Is it mobile friendly? Is it fast? So check it. Here is an example of what you would see. So here is a previous client of ours, actually. It's an e-commerce client, Alpha Beauty Fitness. Great people. So when we came to them, their website wasn't finished. It wasn't good. It wasn't fast. We put it through the test. Okay, it was while it was mobile friendly, it was not fast, either on mobile or desktop. So why is this important? Well, again, human user. What is a human user like? They want it to be fast because Google even says if the site's not loading within 3 seconds, more than half will be bouncing off and going to another site, probably a competitor. Nearly half, actually, that's stats, nearly half. And ultimately, Google has moved to a mobile-friendly and mobile-first index priority, right? What does that really mean? Google is taking into account your mobile-friendly factors in their ranking search results. So the more mobile-friendly you are, the more it's going to be, ranking you in the search engines, right? That's the nitty-gritty of it. So that's where you kind of want to be, and that's where we took them to, right? Now, if you're not all the way in the green, your life's not over, but trust me, you don't want to be in the red. You just don't. It's going to hurt your rankings. You're already doing all this stuff. You're trying to get online reviews. You're trying to, build your citations. You're trying to build backlinks. The last thing you want is a technical factor that Google is seeing and then ultimately not helping you get ranked. So here are the exercises for the website. Go back and look. When you get back to the office, do we have the right layout? Is it click to call? Is it click to email? Can I easily call and email myself, or a prospective client? Can they do so? Do I have some social proof littered on the first thing you see in the homepage? If you're a super lawyer, put it up, man. Absolutely. Do you have click to call and email set up? Does your website look the same across all devices? Is it responsive? If not, it's very easy to get it responsive. It's a lot easier than you think. It's a lot easier to get it fast, too. And of course, when you get back, definitely check the mobile friendliness and the page speed scores. So how to determine whether outsourcing this or doing it yourself is right for you, right? Because that's what this is ultimately going to come down to. So first, you got to audit your online presence. Have I claimed my listings? Are they accurate? Figure out what you need. Maybe you have great reviews, terrible listings. Great listings and reviews. You got no backlinks. You got no content. Or you haven't claimed all of your social media sites. Figure out what you need. And we will actually offer for everyone who's here today, in that email, we will actually We normally charge $97, but because this is a CLE and it's from one attorney to another, we'll do a full online analysis. We'll give you an entire report on where your listings are, what your reviews are, as it compares to your competitors. So it's actually tangible information that you can take with you that means something. So we can do all this if you would like. Ultimately, are you running AdWords as compared to your competitors? How about Facebook ads as compared to your competitors? You know, you need to know where you are in order to make a strategy and a plan to get to where you want to be, right? Time versus money. This is pretty much like this is outsourcing 101. If you have more time than money in your firm, in your practice, then ultimately, you know, use that time to implement these strategies and manage your own digital marketing campaign. Go for it. You can totally do it. Take some work, but you can do it. And we'll have it all outlined for you. But if you do have more time, more money than time, I should say, if you have more money than time, then you need to leverage that money. You need to leverage the resources of a professional digital marketing firm to help you implement this so that you can get back to the practice of law, which is ultimately what you want to do, right? So how to pick the right agency. Just a couple questions and comments for you. You know, does this agency specialize in my industry? There's a lot of digital marketing companies out there, and they always are usually with the same tagline, oh yeah, we're everything to everybody, which means they're really nothing to nobody, right? Do they specialize in my industry, you know? Length of time in business is not a determining factor in the ability of that agency to get you results. I talked to a bankruptcy attorney, I kid you not, people, $400 a month on hosting, rip. $600 a month on SEO, and he's telling me after spending $1,000 a month with this company that is doing their own ads and all this other, I won't say who, because I'm a professional. But let me tell you, no results. This guy admits to me, he's paying this company. It has all the prestige and all this stuff, and of course they're going to do right, but he's getting no results, no calls, no emails, right? So the length of time in business and the bigness of the name, right, you know, that's not a determining factor, so don't get caught up in that. Testimonials are great, but don't be surprised by a lack of them due to NDAs. Unfortunately, in our industry, a lot of our clients, they request NDAs, they just don't want them to be like, you know, spoken of in marketing material, and I can totally understand. So testimonials are great, there's definitely a lot of them, but if you don't find them, that's also not a determining factor due to the NDA situation. And also, low fees and no results cost more than high fees and a lot of results. If you want Walmart, you know, don't expect to get the best result. The guy from India that emails you with the Gmail, hello, in broken English, of course, I will get you ranked to first page of Google for $150 a month. Don't fall into the trap. All right? Don't. You want to get a professional. If you're going to spend the money to try to generate more leads, because think about it, like, we're lawyers. We can charge a hefty fee, and a client to us is worth a lot of money. Do you really think that you could, like, you know, throw a quarter at marketing and expect to get a $2,000 client? Or $100 a month to get a $2,000 client? It'd be nice. That's not going to happen. All right? Certain things in life are too good to be true, so don't get caught up into the whole let's go to the cheap route. We want to go to the results route, right? Does this digital marketing campaign include an AdWords component? Now, every single digital marketing campaign should include an AdWords component, but we are attorneys. The CPCs, the cost per click for certain industries, yes, can be extremely high and cost prohibitive. And that's when you should ask, all right, well, what's our Facebook ad component? Because I don't necessarily want to pay $90 a click for DUI attorney Columbus, Ohio, or something like that, right? Does the agency offer clear monthly reporting and transparency? This is key. You do not want to get, you don't want to get into that situation where you have no idea what your agency is doing, and don't feel that you need to know everything about what your agency is doing, right? Because they're the professionals, but you need to have some proof. And don't do this whole trust me thing. I know plenty of people have done that, like that attorney I've been talking to, and he's like, well, I'm not exactly sure what they've been doing. I mean, I guess they're doing something even though they're getting me no results, right? You don't want to get into that situation. Does this agency have the ability to create mobile landing pages, display banner ads, set up call tracking in order to actually track the progress of any campaign that they do? If you can't track your progress, how do you know if you're doing good, doing bad, right? How are you going to make changes to make it successful? So there's just a couple questions. Now, how doing all this gets a lawyer one step closer to a work-life balance? Well, let me tell you guys, I was in my first year of law practice and I was working 80 hours a week, all right? And where do I find time for myself, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever, boyfriend, the kids? Where am I ever going to go and see the kids' baseball game if I'm working 80 hours a week, and then on top of that, I have to go and do business development hours? Where I go to the community service event, I get my name out there, and I'm a good guy to the community, and so then when people say, if you need a lawyer, call this guy, I know that's what we do. And I'm not saying anything against community service. I think it's a noble and worthy cause, but I have talked to some of these high-powered attorneys at these big law firms, and that's literally how they go and get clients. They go to do the networking events, the community service events, and try to build this whole name for themselves while they're spending time away from their wife, away from their husband, away from their kids, right? Away from themselves, and it doesn't net results. So what I'm trying to say is, if you get this down, guys, then you can get efficient because you don't have to worry about business development anymore. It's automated, it's taken care of, it's online. They're calling you. You don't have to go to them. And then you can get more efficient with your time management with respect to getting a work-life balance by getting yourself more efficient with the actual work, and then ultimately getting back to your own self and your family and your friends. That's why you can get the work-life balance if you actually do this right. And I think that's really, at the end of the day, why we're really here. Questions?
I have a cautionary tale about AVO. I'm mainly a government attorney, but I do some small juvenile practice on the side.
Yeah.
And a couple of years after I got out of law school, I unwittingly claimed my AVO profile. And what I learned through that experience was that because of their internal algorithm, if you are not in a quote customer forward facing role where you are actively doing things that would generate upticks in your rating, then your rating is going to be at a flat level in the mid, like 3.2, I think is what it was on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. And so I went through I jumped through the hoops to try and, question AVO. How it says that my grade, why is it saying this? And they gave me the explanation about, what goes in their algorithm.
Yeah.
I got all the way to talking to Josh King, who is their chief legal officer. I have to pull, this is back in 2014. And I asked them, I said, what can I do? They said, well, you can hide your rating. Well, now it says on my AVO profile, under my maiden name, by the way, so it's not really a problem. I'm married now, it doesn't show up.
Nice.
It says that this attorney has chosen to hide their profile. I said, what can I do to just get rid of all of this? I want to unclaim my profile. And I have now come to find that it's a known problem and complaint with Apple. You cannot unclaim your profile. You can never get back from either having a middle range rating. If you're in a government attorney type position, I might want to do my own law practice and expand it at some point. But I'm always going to have that, 3.7, 3.2, and you can't unclaim your profile.
Right.
It's maddening. And I got married, so now it's not an issue. Apparently AVO's algorithm experts aren't smart enough to link a maiden name to an updated name in bar.
Thank God, right?
But, have you had anyone encounter that problem?
No, but I have heard of it.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, none of my clients have had to deal with that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what you can take comfort is, think about it, the average Joe, the average person who is searching online, they're not necessarily going to AVO all the time.
But AVO has started advertising. That's the problem.
Sure, but what we're talking about is when a person is engaging in the research process, if you have a bunch of other places like your Facebook, which Facebook does allow you to leave reviews. Yeah. Now you got Google My Business. You have a ton of these things. If you have super lawyers, if you have a bunch of social proof on your website, what you can do is you can drown out the negative reviews. Either, the only way to get rid of negative reviews is either call the person up and try to get them to change it or take it down, or drown it out with a bunch of 4s and 5s.
Or get married and change your last name.
Or get married and change your last name. I'm sorry, was there a question? A pseudonym. Oh, suing. Is there? For you?
Yeah, and I want to build on that and kind of on my question earlier, how do you have negative reviews de-indexed? This has been great. We've just learned how to put a presence online. I graduated in 2008. Many of my fellow grads have changed course at least once, maybe a couple times. So what if you put up company ABC and it's amateur hour, you're not really sure what kind of clients you want.
Right.
It doesn't work for you. You want to have it taken down because what you really want to do now is have company XYZ online. You don't want people to find company ABC online. How do you have everything de-indexed and pulled so that you're not tied to your old web presence?
Sure. So what you can do is you can actually go to, there are 4 data providers, Factual, Nexium, Info Group, and Newstar, that's right. And so those are the 4 big data providers and data aggregators, right, that push out this information to a lot of these citation sites, these online listings, the little ones that are all over the place. And these little online listing sites will be pulling data from these 4 major providers, sometimes once a week, sometimes once a month, sometimes quarterly, semi-annually, annually. And if you can get the right listing information, the right business name, address, and phone number for the 4 big providers, and over the course of a year, you should be seeing pretty much 100% across the board correct online listings, as well as you going out there and just manually claiming them yourself and calling up these people and emailing the webmasters of these online listings companies and saying, hey, look, I'm not this anymore. Take it down.
So it takes a while to rebrand is what you're saying, and a lot of work.
To a certain degree it can. And again, this comes back to the whole question. I mean, do you have more time than money, or do you have more money than time? And that's, the decision. I mean, certain things you can do on your own, certain things you can outsource, but you got to do it either way, right? And that's what I want everyone to take from this seminar, is that it's not going away. And remember, that Altman-Weil survey, there's 64% of the partners at some of the top 400 law firms in this country, they don't want to change, because it is, at first blush, it's big, it's scary, it's a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I have the time. Well, if you don't have the time, outsource it. Or if you don't have the money and you have the time, then do this, because ultimately your competitors, more than half of them, don't want to move. They're afraid, or they're complacent, or whatever. So during this time of radical change and ultimate pessimism, we can actually make a breakthrough if we put the right strategy in place and take massive action to get the results that we want, which is ultimately inbound leads consistently, predictably, every single month. I don't have to worry about business. I can go on that vacation, take the kids. I don't care if it costs $5,000, because I know I got 20 leads coming in next month, and I'm about to be able to flip, at least 5 of those into actual money on the books. That's going to cover this. We're talking about, not having to be worried about this whole feast and famine thing, because we're lawyers. So ultimately, our livelihood is based on getting new leads. We're not selling a widget, people. We're not selling the iPhone. People are not lining up at our office space every single fall, wrapped around the corner trying to buy it. Not always. For some practices, yes. But if you can automate a lead generating system to consistently get new leads and ultimately new clients, I think that it's going to change your law practice forever. So I hope you all got a benefit. We're able to glean some strategies to help you get there. So any more questions? All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming out, guys. This was awesome. You guys are awesome. And look for the email. I'll have the PowerPoint slides, the handout with step-by-step strategies and resources for you so you can implement all this stuff on your own. And if any of you would like a full-blown analysis on your firm, there will be a link and we can have a conversation from there. And that'll be complimentary to the fact you all came here. So have a great day, guys.
out of town this week for a hot rod.